numbers of nurses we have here today. Numbers, numbers, numbers. That's what Sutter is all about. In fact, they assigned all of you a number, didn't they? But you know what? I think maybe we should assign Sutter a number.
Yes.
And my number for Sutter is 0. A big, fat 0. So, first of all, 0 common sense. Why in the world do you want to have layoffs when we don't have enough staff day to day to provide the care, the quality of care that we as nurses want to do? 0 compassion for our patients and our communities. As we close essential services such as the SNF, we consolidate the oncology units, and we move the infusion clinic over to their for-profit cancer center so that they can squeeze even more profit out. So, and then 0 support for us nurses. I mean, as they begin to implement their lean program, you know, their wonderful lean program, in their pursuit to have minimal supplies, minimal nurses, minimal beds, you know, all in their pursuit as they race down to 0. So 0, 0, 0, Sutter loves their zeros. So in the past 3 years, their assets jumped $3 trillion. That's a lot of zeros. A lot of zeros. But let's not forget the biggest 0 of Sutter there is. Pat Fry. The biggest 0 there is. $3,000 an hour he makes. $24,000 a day and over $6 million a year. That's a lot of zeros for a CEO of a non-profit hospital, isn't it? A lot. Yeah. So, you know, as far as I see it, Sutter is all about the 0, and that's all you have to remember about Sutter. 0, 0, 0. They talk a big game, but at the end of the day, they simply amount to nothing.
Howdy freaking doody, nurses. Here we are again. Somebody up in administration is going on a run on Lamodal today. We all know what Lamodal's for, right? When you have a mess in your pants. Yeah, we know what that's all about. These pesky, pesky, pesky California nurses just won't shut up about patient safety. And I want to thank all of my taters out here today. I want to thank my instigators. I want to thank my moderators, my agitators, and as every one of you has filled the shoes for today, my demonstrators! We have put on a beautiful commercial today. You know, they say the press likes drama. Have we got some drama? We've got some drama. You know, we've got Sutter's drama. They say they're hemorrhaging cash. Well, we have some brothers and sisters across the bay at Marin General Hospital. They said that hospital was hemorrhaging cash too. Does anybody remember how that court case came out? Yeah. My goodness! They found out that Sutter had siphoned off $200 million from the good people of Marin County. And they paid a $20 million fine. That's good math. My goodness.
Put him in jail. Put him in jail. They're killing him.
Hey, you know, they practice a little something called, let's see, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. They paid some forgiveness fines without ever going through the permission to the good people of Marin County to steal steal money from them. That's exactly what they did. So when your friends and your relatives and the people you don't like down the street who owe you money in your neighborhood say, why are you all upset about what's going on? Don't you know the entire country's in a recession? What's wrong with you? Everybody's having to cut back. You share that story because that story is the truth. That story is Googleable. You can go find out that information real quick like. And when they say, but my goodness, Lucy, you know, the hospital, the doors are still open. They say you're losing money. I just don't understand what's going on. You tell them the way that you find out that a Sutter hospital is not only marginally profitable. Marginally profitable means you're able to pay all your employees. You're taking care of your business. You're making a little bit of money, right? Okay. We know Sutter's history is taking these marginally profitable community hospitals that are causing them competition for another hospital 30 minutes away. They buy up those hospitals and they shut down the services that are not wildly profitable at that community hospital, and they move those services somewhere else, right? Okay? So how do you tell that your hospital, your Sutter hospital, is not only marginally profitable, but wildly profitable? They've still got their name on the building! Pat Fry makes more greenbacks off of your back than any other HMO in the country, than any other not-for-profit in the country. He squeezes more blood out of a turnip than any fat cat in the industry. And he wants to cut your salary. He wants to cut nurses at your bedside. But we know different, don't we? Let me see a sea of hands that have worked overtime in the last 2 months. Phone's ringing off the hook. Can you come in and help us out? We're desperate. Can you stay over 4 more hours after you work 12? Because we're desperate. Oh, we can't make it without you. Can you come in? And we know Sutter's had some really funny math, don't we? I'm talking funny math. High-powered arithmetic that, just must be above the rest of us understanding. But when we ask ourselves, where is Sutter getting money from out of this situation? Because we know that's what the deal is, right? It's so that they don't have to hire tax-paying citizens from the state of California who are voters, who went to nursing school to come and help their communities out, and now are languishing with an RN out in the community without a job. They don't want to pay them benefits. It's an election year, ladies and germs. Oh my goodness, is it back scratching time? And the big red union is going to put their big red weight behind the candidates who are going to Sacramento and the candidates that want to go to Washington. With our big red union support, we will support the candidates that bring us more nurses in these hospitals. You want CNA today, baby? We got a proposition for you. Chop from the top, baby. Chop from the top. Whose hospital?
Joel Pease, I work at the Med-Surg unit at Eden Medical Center, and I'm scared. The last time that I worked, I left that place feeling scared for my patients. I was charting well after the end of my shift because we were so busy. And when I hear that they want to go lean, I mean, what are we now? We are lean. They're laying off ancillary care. I originally worked for a unit out there that's since closed. So this is a process that's been going on for years. And as we all know, the most important thing, our #1 priority is patient care. And staffing is key to patient care. Sure, we've negotiated some good benefits. The union has negotiated some good benefits over the years. What is the corporate response? Decrease full-time employees and work with part-time employees. So this struggle is ongoing. I don't have any prepared remarks. I don't have much more to say, but it's just really heartening to see everybody out here coming to support the Alta Bates nurses in their struggles. We need this kind of solidarity at every facility.
It's so great. I love coming to these things and seeing all the red. I just, you know, it's really inspiring. It's really special. Thanks everyone for coming out and showing your support of the Alta Bates nurses. I am not an Alta Bates nurse, but I am a nurse at Sutter Delta, along with my coworker Robin here, who hasn't spoken as many of these things as I have, so she's still, you know, on the sideline. We'll get her here. Yeah, we'll get her up here. I just wanted to say that, you know, we at Sutter Delta look to the Alta Bates nurses as our big brothers and big sisters, and we know that what happens here will happen at Delta and at every other Sutter in the system, you know, so that's why we're all here.
We're still here. Now wait a minute, let me rephrase that. We're still here. Now wait a minute, I don't think they heard me inside. We're still here. Now you join me. We're still here. 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 Thank you. And we're not going anywhere. So I have two things that I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about where we're at and where we're going. And now most of you know where we're at. Most of you feel where we're at. I came back from maternity leave. I was here for 3 days, and then I got a horrible, terrible, nasty cold. And I really think it was just from walking through the halls here, because it was so toxic. The environment here has been so horrible, and that's what they want. And you know what? I had to dig deep while I was off. I had to dig deep within myself and say, you know what? I'm not going to let them do this.
Hell no.
I'm not going to let them make me unhappy. I'm not going to let them do this to my coworkers. I'm going to stand with my coworkers, and we're going to get through this together.
Yeah.
Someone asked me today, well, where do you get your strength from? Where do you dig when you're in a situation like this? So I'm going to tell you a little story. It's not to preach. It just gives a little context to the story. I've been going to a Buddhist community center in Chanting, and I was going through some really, really, really horrible times in the last couple years. And there was one day where I walked out and I had tears in my eyes. And a man there came up to me and he said, "What's wrong?" And I told him all the horrible things that were going on in my life at the time. And he walked up to me and he said, "Congratulations." And I was like, now you might think this man is crazy, he's mean, but I had been going to that center long enough to know exactly what he meant without even asking him. And what he meant was, you are now going on a new path because of the horrible things that have happened to you. So I'm here today to say to each and every one of you, congratulations. And I'll tell you why I'm congratulating you. Because you have been given the opportunity to fight. Sutter represents everything that's wrong with this country right now. All the corporate greed, everything that's nasty and terrible about what's going on right now. And there's so many of our friends and family that go, that's the way it is. That's corporate America. That's what happens. But you know what? with our union, we have the opportunity to stand up and fight back. And we have to stand up and fight back, because we have to stand up and fight back not just for ourselves and not just for what's going on here right now, but think about the next generation of nurses and the generation after that and the generation after that. We are in the middle of a historical fight, and we have to win for them. We have to win for each other, and we have to win for the community that we serve. All the nurses are watching us. You saw some nurses come here today. I saw some nurses last night, and they are all saying, we admire your unity, we are watching you, we respect you, and please, please keep fighting, Sutter, and we will be there right by your side. So right now, we're under attack. And what you do sometimes when you're in a war and you're under attack is you have to stand behind your shield. And our shield is unity. Yes, we are standing behind our shield of unity right now while this attack, while this horrible dragon Sutter breathes fire over us. We're back like this right now. But you know what? After you stand behind your shield, you stand up and you stand with the courage. Courage is going to be your sword, and you are going to fight back against Sutter. Yeah. That's what we have to do.
We say fight back!
Sutter says cut back!
We say fight back!
Cut back!
Fight back!
Cut back!
Fight back!
Sitting here thinking about what the council person said about what nonplussed means, and then I'm thinking about we plus you. And I think it's really this whole layoff rebid thing. I think it's really we nonplussed you. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling a little chaotic and a little uncertain and a little scared and a lot pissed. So, a long road, right? Almost 3 years now that we've been dealing with union and contract issues. And you know this. I was the sub, right? And I got into this negotiations thing, and I got told, you know, a few meetings, a few negotiation sessions. Oh, and there's this meeting that you have to go to at the union office once a month. It's sort of a leadership thing. So I thought, okay, well, you know, I'll give it a go, and we know how that went, right? It took us 2.5 years and 9 strikes, and we finally got to hold on to our little pink books. Right? This is what that was about. 2.5 years and 9 strikes, and the years and years and years that went before. So we got to hold on to this. What this represents is an agreement between hospital management and the nurses represented by the union, the nurses that work at this hospital. So we didn't, in those negotiation sessions, sit down and say, so this is what the nurses think. Let's write that down on a piece of paper and sign it and put it in a pink folder and call it a contract. We didn't do that. We sat down with hospital management and we said, how about this? And they said, well, how about that? And then we said, we're going out on strike. And they said, how about that? And then we said, and so how about this now? And, you know, I mean, it went back and forth. I could stand here for 2.5 years and tell you bit by bit what that was like, but you know it because you were there, you lived it. So in October, we said, how about this and how about that? And we came up with an agreement that they were 50% of. We're 50% saying, okay, we're going to give and take, we're going to maintain this, we're going to keep current contract language on some issues, we're going to do this, we're going to enhance some of the issues, and they said, okay. That's what we'll do. You guys are okay with this piece? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys are okay with that piece? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, great. We got an agreement. We got this. We hung on to this. We are still a union facility.
That's right.
And a week later, the hospital said, yeah, not so much that. We want to get rid of the 12-hour shifts, which was their contractual right. It's in the agreement. We agreed to that. 60 days notice to the union. But what they have to do then is bargain over the effect of that decision. So we start bargaining in the middle of October, 2 weeks after we settled our contract, about the effects. And then they roll it into unit closures and layoffs and the 12-hour shifts and unit consolidations, and they roll it into one big thing where they say, you know what? We're forgetting about this. We're going to do this. Deal with that. Well, what I want to say to Sutter is, deal with this. Deal with this. Because we are not going anywhere. What has become very, very clear when I was listening to Mike on the radio, Mike, the union spokesperson, versus Carolyn, the hospital spokesperson, Mike saying, how can this be happening? And he, speaking the truth as he always does. We're short-staffed on every unit. They can't staff the hospital now. They can't do this, they can't do that. It was a very, very clear message, and I was really grateful that he was there to send that message into our community. And then Carolyn Kemp started speaking, and out of one side of her mouth she said, and I really loved the medical language, the hospital is hemorrhaging money. The hospital is bleeding money. And then the corporate speak started. We need to right-size that. I don't even really know what that means because I'm not a corporate person, I'm a nurse. But we need to right-size that. And then she says, we lost $8 million and we've had 18% drop in census and only a 5% drop in the nurses. But we should be grateful that Sutter Health, we should want them to stay here because they built a new hospital in Oakland. So where's that money coming from? I guess that's where the hemorrhage is, right? Is the new hospital in Oakland. And then she caps it off with the quintessential corporate speak of Pat Fry's salary is commensurate with other CEOs of major medical corporations. That doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's just. Maybe that's what everybody who works for a major medical corporation gets paid. But you know what? My salary is also commensurate with what nurses in this area earn. And more importantly, my salary and safe staffing allows me to provide quality health care, which should be what healthcare is measured by, not how many things you can do in a minute, but providing quality of care, giving the patients what they need, providing the things, the touches that you cannot quantify on an analysis piece of paper. So the bottom line for me, the message that I'm getting from Sutter is that they're not about health care, they're about wealth care. And it's our job to turn nursing back into health care. So Rochelle is right. We need you guys. We need you to enforce this. We need to keep getting the reports about what's happening on the units. Short staffing, short supplies, charge nurses having to take patients, all of the things that are contractual violations. That's how we will hold Sutter's feet to the fire and continue to maintain our fantastic contract. Make it about health care. Take wealth care out of the we plus you equation.
You take on all of us! You take on what of us? You take on all of us!
is basically causing our hospital to bleed to death. I have been a nurse here for 32 years. I came in 1982. I have done labor and delivery. I have helped save many babies' lives, many mothers' lives. I lost track after 2000. And that is my qualification for standing here and saying that Sutter is committing criminal negligence by cutting staffing, ancillary support, medications, and supplies beyond the bone. I'm here to fight for my patients. I'm also trying to fight for my job because they made every one of us illegally rebid for our jobs on Friday. They have violated the contract. They have violated every promise they have made. And I'm angry and I'm hurt and I don't want to see my patients die. I don't want to see these delicate 28-week, 32-week, 40-week, all the babies die because there's no nurse to take care of them.
Are you saying they're putting the patients in jeopardy here at this hospital?
I'm saying that's exactly what I'm saying.
Isn't that illegal?
It's illegal, it's immoral, it's wrong.
You think that they should be prosecuted, these executives?
I'm not going to say that on TV.
Why not?
I might think it, but I'm not going to say it.
If they're violating the law, don't you think they should be prosecuted?
I think they should be prosecuted for their offenses, yes, but
do you think
I'm grieved, and all I want in my heart is for us as nurses with many, many years of training and experience to be able to do our job, to keep people from bleeding to death, to keep people from dying of strokes, to keep people in the intensive care unit whose lives are at stake safe, to keep these delicate little premature babies safe. We need enough nurses to do the job.
And this is
somebody says when we are begging for staffing every single day that we're overstaffed. Something's very, very wrong.
They say they're not.
Lucy Riley. I have worked at Summit Hospital in Oakland, California. This is the beginning of my 13th year with that facility. I have been an ICU nurse for 20 years this year.
And some of the nurses here have said that there's not proper medication, they don't have enough medication, they're cutting back. Is this true?
This is absolutely true. We have a corporation that has a leg up on community hospitals and their buying power. They're able to buy 20 to 30,000 doses of a medication at a deeply discounted rate, where a community hospital does not have that kind of buying power. Okay? Now, you may ask yourself, why on earth, if a hospital can have this kind of deeply discounted rate to buy meds, would they not be buying meds? If they can't get the price they want, we don't have the medications in the hospital. It's all about quarterly profits for these guys. You would think that we were working for a Wall Street hedge fund with the way that they cut corners and they try to maximize profits here. When we see patients become an assembly line product, we will see sentinel events. Now, for the general public, they may ask, what is a sentinel event? A sentinel event is when a patient dies due to lack of proper procedure being carried through or protocol being followed inside the doors of a hospital. All right? That is a sentinel event. We expect to see these sentinel events rise. The number of these happenings rise inside of both of these hospitals. Why? Because we have nurses who are working 12 hours without a break. Now, this is not a job where you sit down at a desk and you look at a computer and you can sit back and maybe eat your sandwich while you're filling out a quarterly report. This is a job where you are in the room at a bedside. Me, as an ICU nurse, I could have 5 to 6, sometimes 10 IV medication drips that I am titrating to make sure that I get a heart rate, a blood pressure, an oxygen saturation, all within normal parameters, so that I can turn to the family at the bedside and say, we've got hope here. When I don't have a break for 12 hours, where is my mind at hour number 10, 11, 12? When I'm being asked every shift to stay over and work a double, which is 16 hours without a break, how safe is that nurse at the bedside?
And are state agencies who are supposed to do oversight on this aware of these conditions?
What you are looking at today is nurses who are so frustrated with the process, with the legal process, understand. We turn in what's called ADOs, which is an assignment despite opposition. We turn in reports to the state and federal agencies. These processes, as anyone who's ever been involved in a court case, in any lawsuit, realize, takes time.
Are you saying that Governor Brown couldn't direct the agencies to actually enforce the laws at this hospital?
Jerry Brown has been a friend of CNA. We backed him for governor. He's done everything in his power. What we have to understand is that the law does not hold Sutter accountable.
Are you saying the state agencies,
cost-cutting measures,
if this process that they're doing here at Sutter are putting the health and safety of the patients and the staff in danger, are you saying the state of California can't intervene in the situation?
The state of California can intervene. It takes time. What you are seeing here today is a bedside nurses commercial to demand that process be more expedient, to demand that we get satisfaction for these patient safety issues now and not 6 months from now when the National Labor Relations Board has had a chance to sit down with thousands of other complaints across the country and do something about it.
You're saying there's a health care emergency here at Sutter Hospital?
This is a health care emergency.
And what should the state do about it?
We are hoping that candidates who are running for office all over the state of California will take notice to these pesky California nurses who won't shut up about patient care.
But you already have a Democratic legislature, a Democratic governor.
Super majority in Sacramento.
I mean, don't you think that they can take action? They control the state.
They will take action when they're pressured to take action, and that is what we're doing out here today, my kind sir. Okay. We are pressuring.
And what about the idea, I mean, I don't think, in what's been said here, that these executives are really concerned about you or about the patients.
They only understand quarterly profits and losses.
And do you think that you should have these corporations running this hospital?
I think that every good citizen of the state of California who's had the patience to listen to this interview thus far should ask themselves, how much is too much? When you have a healthcare CEO making $7 million, you really have to ask, could that money be spent better? Could that money be spent elsewhere? You really have to ask, if this is private healthcare, what is my part in this? And I would guide the good citizens of the Bay Area to look to their paycheck where they see Medicare and where they see Social Security. Because the good citizens of the Bay Area, just like the good citizens of this country, are paying these salaries through their Medicare payments, through our federal tax dollars. That's who's paying Pat Fry's salary. And we have a right to ask, how much is too much? Yes, caps on CEO salaries in America for hospital organizations like this are a question that needs to be on around every American dining table, because this translates directly to the level of care that's supported at the bedside.
And they are also getting tax subsidies as a nonprofit?
You better believe they have. Not only are they getting tax subsidies, not only are they not paying taxes, real estate taxes on this building and the building over in Oakland and all of the medical office buildings that are ancillary to the hospital, Sutter has the worst charitable care record in the state of California. There are for-profit hospitals that donate more charity care than Sutter. That, as a judge from the court case in Marin County, defined as ethically reprehensible.
It is ethically reprehensible making this kind of money.
You think they should have gone to jail for stealing that $200 million?
I think somebody should be playing some pretty crappy golf on some federal golf greens right now. Yes, I do. With some extremely tight shoes.